Time is so important when your loved one's missing.
Tonight, a new hub will see Winnipeg Police oversee all missing persons report in the province. The details coming up.
This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Thanks for joining us. Winnipeg Police say they cannot keep up with calls from people concerned about their missing family members. Now, the province is funding an integrated unit with police and grassroots organizations to help search for missing people. CBC Stephanie Cram reports.
The number of missing persons incidents reported to Winnipeg Police is on the rise. Many of those cases involve young, vulnerable girls.
Last year alone, there was 9,315 missing person incidents reported in Winnipeg alone. That doesn't even include the rest of Manitoba.
RCMP reports about 3,500 cases throughout the province a year.
Each one of these is an individual. Each one of these represents a family who is worried about that individual who is missing.
That's why the province is spending $2.1 million to establish a Manitoba integrated missing persons response unit anchored out of the Winnipeg Police Service, working with RCMP and grassroots organizations like the Bear Clan to more effectively respond to missing persons reports. The unit will hire more missing persons coordinators to work around the clock taking calls from concerned families. According to RCMP, over half of missing persons incidents are reported at northern RCMP detachments, many of them youth.
It is not uncommon for these missing youths to be drawn or lured to larger city centers like Winnipeg or Brandon. Once in these larger centers, they can become vulnerable to exploitation and or victimized by people who have no care for their well-being.
Time is so important when your loved one's missing and you need to get that report. So I think that having people available kind of 24/7 to take those missing persons reports, I think it's going to go a long way.
Police say they expect the unit will be up and running in a couple of months. Stephanie Cram, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Manitoba Public Insurance wants to hire an outside consultant to help keep Project Nova on time and on budget. The costs for Project Nova have almost tripled to $290 million. It aims to move more MPI services online. But the government says MPI won't be getting any more money.
As recently as last week, it's been reiterated that there are no additional funds that are going to be made available for this project, and they reiterated last week that they don't anticipate needing any additional funds.
It's not known how much an external consultant will cost MPI. Transcona councillor Russ Wyatt says his motion calling for a public inquiry is causing a commotion at Winnipeg City Hall. Wyatt wants to renew a council push for the province to call an inquiry into Winnipeg's police headquarters. But he says he's been warned this could jeopardize the city's settlement in the police HQ lawsuit.
It may be considered bad faith even after the agreement has been signed, and therefore we are in contravention of the agreement. So therefore, you really never can debate or request a public inquiry now.
City Council votes on the settlement on Thursday. It is also slated to debate Wyatt's motion about an inquiry. Well, 2 asylum seekers who lost all of their fingers to frostbite while crossing the border into Canada in 2016 now have something to celebrate. They have both become Canadian citizens. The CBC's Ian Fraze has more.
It's beautiful how it looks, so I'm protecting it with my life.
This certificate declares Seydou Mohammed a Canadian citizen. He never would have thought this was possible 7 years ago. He was one of 2 asylum seekers scared for their lives back in Ghana. Fearing deportation in the United States, Mohammed and Razak Iyal made a journey that almost cost them their lives. They got lost walking into Canada in the dead of winter.
We thought we were going to die there.
They lost all their fingers to severe frostbite, but they survived and now they're thriving. Mohammed volunteers as a soccer coach in Winnipeg and is hoping to enroll in university.
Canada is not just my home, it's part of who I am as a person.
Iyal was gifted this flag the day of his citizenship ceremony.
This flag means everything to me.
The men are grateful to be Canadian and describe what it means to them.
there are some responsibilities that we as Canadians to be part of, like helping the communities, helping people.
Coming from a place that rejected you, they don't need you there, and coming to Canada and they open their arms for you.
They want to be as welcoming as Winnipeg was to them. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, to Brandon now, where Knox United Church hosted its annual Pi Day this weekend. The event was to educate people on allyship and how to operate ministries that better support LGBTQ people. Anastasia Jane Gibson is a Brandon musician and psychologist. She shared her story at the event.
There's a lot of scary and damaging messages that are coming out right now, especially down south. That's trickling upward about folks who are gender diverse and in the trans community.
Gibson helped launch the new Westman Empowerment Fund, which supports people seeking gender-affirming care in Westman. Well, today marks International Day of La Francophonie. The Franco-Manitoban flag was raised at City Hall today. More than 100,000 Manitobans speak French, and in the last 5 years, more than 2,000 French-speaking immigrants have settled in the province.
Gone are the days where Francophones were all concentrated in St. Boniface or the Riel district. Nowadays, you'll find us in just about every part of the city, and we are represented by different backgrounds, cultures, and experiences.
Several events are planned this month to celebrate and promote Francophonie culture. Here is a look at downtown Winnipeg. Well, today marked the first official day of spring. A bit on the cold side, though, out there. Meteorologist John Sauder's forecast is next.
This weather update is brought to you by Capital Ford Lincoln. The trade and upgrade event is on now.
Well, today marked the spring equinox at 4:24 this afternoon, and it certainly was a lot cooler than you would expect for this time of year. Good news is today was the cold day of the week. What I'm watching now is the next disturbance moving up from the southwest. We'll see some flurries in southwestern Manitoba by the afternoon, and then as we get into the overnight period, this band of snow is moving up into northwestern Ontario and will likely catch the Red River Valley and parts of southeastern Manitoba. And the amounts are pretty significant with this low as it moves off to the east into areas like Sioux Lookout and Dryden, and then on from there out to the east. All while, by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon, we are starting to clear here in southern Manitoba. So 48-hour snowfalls right up to about Wednesday afternoon look like this: 3 centimeters in Winnipeg, 8 in Kenora, and mid-teens out in Sioux Lookout and the Dryden area. So yes, a significant snowfall, a lot of that staying to the south and east of us. Tonight, minus 16. Tomorrow, see a few sunny breaks in the morning. Then the cloud starts to build in. Some evening light snow starting up, and that takes us overnight into Wednesday morning. Then some clearing, and then much brighter and calmer weather toward the week's end, and all the way to +1 on Saturday.
Thanks, John. Wouldn't be spring in Manitoba without some snow. That is your late news to this Monday. Thank you for being with us tonight. We will see you again tomorrow at 6 and 11. Have a good night.